Hey there, I wanted to have a talk to you about something that over the past weekend has become really apparent to me, and that is anti-vaxxers are fucking crazy. Now, I'm sure most of the people that are watching my videos would agree with that sentiment anyway. You're not going to be watching content that goes out of its way to make you angry. So you generally stick within the bubble of stuff that you agree with. And I am really hopeful that if you've got some vaccine hesitancy, that you're looking into the proper research areas to get the information that you need. And I thoroughly recommend that you go out and you get the vaccine. However, yesterday I came across a really strange phenomenon. You might have heard that the small town of Kawhia has had a positive case over the last few days, and the whole area was rushed into lockdown. Now, there are some serious issues, for me personally, around the way that that's all been handled. And it comes down to things like the fact that Karapiro had a case the same day. A couple of hours later, they had a testing station there within an hour. Yet it took them 24 hours to get a testing station out to Kawhia. So there are some very concerning issues that the community quite rightfully has around the process of making sure that they're kept as safe as everybody else. But when yesterday somebody posted on their community Kawhia page about how using masks as a form of domination is something that Muslims do and have been doing for centuries, it actually really pissed me off. And it pissed me off for a couple of reasons. One, it's actually not true. Two, it's really fucking racist to sit there and say, if you wear a mask, you're being treated no better than a Muslim woman. And I think that is absolutely abominable. So I had them up about that. And then, of course, they came back with all of the I'm a God-fearing person who believes that we are the way we are supposed to be and that masks inhibit the is it some stupid thing? Yeah, you know all the arguments. You've seen them all by now. So this really pissed me off. But I kept my calm when I was commenting. I did everything I could to put through valid logical arguments to everything that they were saying. But at the same time, to vent my own frustration, I took a screen grab of what they'd posted and I put it up on my Instagram page and my Twitter page and my Facebook page because social media, and I can do that. And I think it's important as well to highlight when somebody's being stupid and you want to point it out, and it allows you to vent your frustration within a bubble that you create that kind of supports what you're doing. At the same time, though, this person was stalking me on Facebook. Didn't know that. Actually don't care, to be honest. They took a screen grab, though, of what I'd put on my Facebook stories and Instagram stories, and then posted it again to the public forum, calling me a homo. Now, I'm not going to deal with that as an issue. It's neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned. But then she goes through and comments a whole bunch calling me a snake in the grass because I was belittling her behind her back. Not that posting on a public forum calling me a homo isn't belittling me. So when this was pointed out to her, suddenly that's all disappeared and I don't get a right of reply. It is a fascinating experience. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand with social media comes trolls. It's why the golden rule of the internet is you never read the comment section. And I got sucked into that. But at the same time, my real concern here is that this is a person who is an admin on a Facebook community page. Now, in times of lockdown, when everybody's got nothing else to do, ask any social media manager and they will tell you that the amount of social media use goes up exponentially. 85% of all Kiwis are on some form of social media, Facebook being the majority of them. So when you've got a small community that's really kind of confused about what's happening, they have a case that sort of appeared out of nowhere that they didn't think was ever going to hit them. Suddenly, boom, their community's got this. And it's a small community, so everybody knows everybody and everybody interacts with everybody, so everybody's freaking out. To have somebody in charge of a community page who is so vehemently anti-science, who is so vehemently anti the Ministry of Health's absolutely scientifically backed recommendations to keep people safe. Simple things like wearing a mask. Like, you might not want a vaccine. I kind of get why the vaccine is scary. I don't think it is. I know the science behind it. But at the same time, it makes people feel special if they can turn around and go, we're different and we're standing against everybody. And look at us, we're so important. But to have the power of running a community Facebook page like that circumvents what is essentially democracy. When you have a public representative who has been elected to lead and represent a community by that community, then they know that they've got to answer to them. They've got to go back and they've got to get feedback. whether they do or not, or how they work within their constituency, that's entirely up to them. When it comes to something like a Facebook community page, you have no one there to tell these idiots to stop spreading dangerous misinformation. Totally irresponsible behaviour can completely go under the radar, and then if somebody says something that you don't like, you've got every right to go out there and ban them. Now, don't get me wrong, I've banned people from community pages before because of the information that they were putting out that would be deemed dangerous or offensive. So to turn around and say that you should never do it is completely wrong. But at the same time, if the information that's been put out by somebody who is disagreeing with your comments on whether or not you shouldn't wear a mask because you'll be treated like a Muslim woman, or because you're going out there calling someone a homo who's a snake in the grass, that kind of offensive behaviour becomes problematic, because who do you report that to? Now, you can report to Facebook, which is what I've done in this particular instance, because that is a derogatory remark that could be seen as harmful for some people. At the same time, that comment is still up there on that Facebook page. Everything that points out that she's done wrong is now missing. She's either removed it or she's blocked me from seeing it. Either way, I no longer have a right to reply, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this video. It still all goes to highlight the fact that when we are dealing with issues like we are at the moment, with massive global pandemic, with parts of the country in really strict lockdowns because we have a virus that's getting out, because people aren't listening to the scientific information that's out there and following the advice to keep people safe, whole communities can suffer for it. And then when you have an unelected representative who controls the information and the media that's going through to the people, that's a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship on a small scale to a population of about 700 people. But this person, or people, because I believe it's a mother and daughter team, these people are acting like dictators. Now, I'm not going to name names because you all know dictators. You could pick one from the last American president to the last German chancellor. No, not the last German chancellor. She was not a dictator, but that one back in the 40s was. So you kind of see where I'm going here, hopefully, in that I'm really fucked off. I'm not fucked off with people having a difference of opinion to me. That's fine. People completely have the right to have a difference of opinion. But to be having somebody who is putting themselves in this position of public authority without having been elected by a community, who has the right to tell you what information comes across your screen while you're sitting there doom scrolling, that's really dangerous. Because it can lead to people dying. It can lead to people being hospitalized. And that, for me, is a massive crime. When all of this settles down and things return back to some sort of semblance of normal, and everybody has sort of stopped being all a little concerned about everybody else in their community, I think maybe that's something that we need to take a look at as a society. How much power have we unknowingly handed over to people who don't really deserve it, who don't use it responsibly, and who go out of their way to spread misinformation? Like, it honestly wouldn't surprise me at this stage if it turns out she's got links to somebody like Brian Tamaki, or if her family were friends with the positive case in Kawhia, because it's such a small community, and some of the stuff that she's been putting up there really feels like it's come straight out of the Destiny Church. So I really do hope that once you finish with this rant, because it is exactly that, it's another ranty video, that you sit down and you look at the community pages that you're a part of, and you work out whether or not it's safe for you to be there. Because if you're getting the wrong information, if you're getting misinformation that you know is misinformation, if you're seeing comments posted by people who are admins, or admins who are controlling the content that's coming in and out, you've got a serious problem with your local community and how they're using social media. And I think it's very important to remember that social media is designed to be social, but that means that it's up to us, all of us who use it, to make a difference when it counts, and to stand up and say, no, we don't need this kind of bullshit happening in front of us, because it's not helping people, it's hurting people. All right, that's me. That's it for today. Super quick, easy rant. I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope you had a great weekend. Ka kite anō.